Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another Matt 170 concept session. My name is Nick, and I work with the ASU Tutoring Centers, and today we're going to be talking about the unit circle. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, the unit circle is just a general circle, right, with a radius of 1. And basically, the important thing with the unit circle is that it breaks down major points all around the circle. So with X and Y coordinate points, so that we know exactly where everything is. Now, this will be more useful for different applied questions, which we'll actually be talking about in future concept sessions. But this is just going to be a really good introduction to just the general unit circle and just how everything works. Now, if you notice on the right, they want us to find 4 different essentially coordinate points. Now, when they say sine, for sine, they want you to look at the y coordinate. Cosine is the x coordinate. And then lastly, tangent is technically opposite over adjacent, right? So that means that it's basically going to be, tangent is essentially going to be the sine of what they want you to find over the cosine of what they want you to find. Okay, and we'll demonstrate how that works during this example here. So let's go ahead and get started with this first question. So they want us to find the sine of 45 degrees. And the way we're going to find that is by looking at our unit circle over here. I'm not sure if your class is going to make you memorize this or not, but it is generally pretty helpful if you do have this memorized. Really, my biggest suggestion on how to memorize the unit circle and how I've memorized it is just focus on this top right quadrant here and just memorize this, because what you can do is after you memorize that, these are all going to be the same coordinate points and all of the other 3 quadrants of the graph. It's just some of them are going to have negative signs and some of them are not. So this first quadrant here, the upper right, everything's going to be positive, right? Because we're looking at positive x and positive y. But for say quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4, some of them go into the negative x direction, some of them go into the negative y direction. So it's just important that you make those distinctions. But all the coordinate points are going to be the same. It's just going to have potentially different signs. So back to the question at hand, they want us to find the sine of 45 degrees, right? So another way to say 45 degrees is to convert it to radians, which is pi over 4. Okay, and that's what we have here, right? So we have that 45 degrees there, pi over 4 right there. And if you remember back, what we're looking for is the y coordinate for sine, right? So that means our total, our general coordinate point for 45 degrees is square root 2 over 2 for both the x and the y. Okay, so for the y, we're just going to take this, and that's going to be our answer. Okay, now for cosine, what we're going to do is take the x coordinate, right? And it works out because we're going to be looking at the same exact angle. So it's going to be the same exact coordinate points, right? We have square root 2 over 2, comma, square root 2 over 2. So it's just this time, because we're dealing with cosine, we're going to be taking the x coordinate instead of the y. And even though these are the same answers, they can be potentially different. Say if you're dealing with 60 degrees or 30 degrees, or the x and y are different, as well as the 0, 90, 180, 270, and 360. Those will also have different coordinate points as well. Now we're getting to tangent. So they want us to find the tangent of 90 degrees. So we know that that's going to just be straight up here. So that's this going up the positive direction of y, correct? You can also say 90 degrees is technically pi over 2. Okay, so in order to solve the tangent of 90 degrees, the way we're going to focus on it is what we have up here, which is our sine of cosine, right? Or sine over cosine. So really what we're going to be finding is the sine of 90 degrees over the cosine of 90 degrees. Okay? And what we can do there is then divide it out and then find our answer. Okay? So our coordinate points up here for 90 degrees is 0, 1. Right? So our sine is going to be looking at our y coordinate, right? So we know that that's 1. And then our cosine is our x coordinate, so we know that that's 0. But we run into a major issue here, right? Because we can't divide any kind of number by 0, which therefore means that tangent of 90 degrees, or we can also say that this is the tangent of pi over 2, right, from what we declared over here, is actually equal to, it's actually undefined, because you can't divide by 0. So there actually is really no answer. The answer is technically undefined. So now what we're going to do is look at sine of 330. Okay, so what we can do is look over here on our unit circle and trace going from 0. We can go all the way around. And then we realize, okay, so the last one over here is 330 degrees, right? And we see that that also equals 11 pi over 6. So we know that 330 degrees equals 11 pi over 6. And that equals to the coordinate points square root 3 over 2, comma, negative 1/2. Okay? And like I said, these coordinate points are all going to be the same, right? So we know just by looking at this graph that we're going into the positive x direction, right? But we're going into the negative y direction. So that's why we have a positive x value, but a negative y value. And that's going to be the case, like I said, for all the other quadrants. It's just going, you just have to think about what the signs should be based off of the direction that it's going. So now we have our coordinate points, right? And what we're looking for here is the sine, which means the y value, right? In which case, that's going to net us negative 1/2. All right, so hopefully that was a good primer for you on the unit circle. If you have any other questions, go ahead and check out tutoring.asu.edu, and that'll have on there, it'll list out all of our different tutoring centers, as well as all the additional free resources that you have at your disposal from being an ASU student. We have multiple different tutoring centers on all 4 major campuses, as well as an online tutoring center as well. So definitely check out our website for more specific location information, as well as hours of operation. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and check out that other link on your screen, and that'll direct you to a list of all the other concept sessions that we've done for your course. But other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and good luck in your class.